Alright, good morning. So this morning is actually the smokiest morning so far on the entire trail, except for one day along the Gila River where it was really smoky in the morning as well. But yeah, it's pretty strong. You can really see it on the horizon. Couldn't see the sunrise. Like the sun basically is just hidden still. It's just socked in by all the forest fire smoke. So it's not as light as it normally would be right now, because actually otherwise it would be clear skies. But yeah, there's clearly a lot of smoke in the air. You know, you can feel it, you can smell it. It's pretty strong. And so today I'm heading to the town called Lincoln, and hopefully I'll get to Lincoln in the early afternoon. We'll see. I'm hoping that I can get there fairly quickly, hitchhike in, get my respawn food, charge my electronics, then hitchhike back out, and then get some more miles in beyond Lincoln. We'll see how that goes. It's kind of an ambitious plan, but as long as I get to the town today, I'll be good. And one thing I've been meaning to mention recently, I was going to mention it in yesterday's video, but I'd already been talking so much I didn't want it to be too long. And that's that Ted Kaczynski used to live in this area before he was arrested. If you don't know who Ted Kaczynski is, you may have heard of him as the Unabomber. And yeah, I know most of my audience is American, and if you're American and you're above the age of like 30 or 40, then you probably know who the Unabomber is. Maybe not, but if you look up the Unabomber or Ted Kaczynski, this is the location that he lived in. Basically, Ted Kaczynski was like a domestic terrorist essentially, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he was sending packages in the post to like universities and airlines. That's how he got the name Unabomber. And yeah, anyway, he was sending packages which were bombs, so people would open the package and it would blow up. And he was doing that for a long time, and it was actually, I think, the biggest FBI investigation of all time at the time. And yeah, the FBI was having a really hard time figuring out who he was. But yeah, so he ended up killing 3 people, I believe, and injuring 23 others. And I'm sure some of those 23 people that were injured are probably like, well, it was probably really bad. I mean, you're opening a package which is literally a bomb, so some of those are probably pretty bad. Yeah, anyway, he's still alive. He's in prison. He's in a prison in Colorado. And anyway, he used to live in a cabin in the woods really close to here. So where I was at that outfitter, it was at Stemple Pass. And there's a road there, Stemple Pass Road, which I walked on very briefly. It's a dirt road. And if you go about 9 miles down that road, you'll reach where Ted Kaczynski's property was, which is where he had his cabin. And I think from there it's only like another maybe 7 miles or something to reach Lincoln on that dirt road. So yeah, anyway, he lived really close to Lincoln, and I think he used to like ride his bike into Lincoln, go to the library and stuff, and people in the town of Lincoln knew him. Probably not very well, because I think he was kind of a recluse, but yeah, Lincoln was his town. And I'm guessing I don't really know, but I'm guessing he sent those packages, the bombs, from the post office in Lincoln. I don't know if you would go to other locations or what, but I'm sure some of them must have at least been sent from that post office in Lincoln. And if you look at the last couple of clips, before I reached the outfitter in yesterday's video, so the end of yesterday's video, I was looking down a valley. I was like kind of on a ridge, and there was a view of the valley towards Lincoln. And so in those clips, somewhere you can probably see Ted Kaczynski's property, because yeah, it was somewhere down that road, down the dirt road. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that this is the location of Ted Kaczynski, and like in that cabin he made all of his bombs. And yeah, it's kind of bizarre. I guess he was hidden in the forest for quite a long time before the FBI figured out where he was or who he was. And yeah, Lincoln was the town that he would frequent, so yeah, it's kind of strange. Oh man, I just bumped into a group of hikers, out for a day hike. There were about 10 of them, and they asked me where I was heading to. And, I told the truth. I said, Canada. And in my mind at this point, Canada's not that far away, so it doesn't even seem that crazy that I'm walking to Canada. And they all just thought I was completely insane. And it was funny, I stopped for a while because they just had so many questions for me. They were so impressed by the fact that obviously, I walked it from Mexico or whatever. And it's just funny because I just haven't really, it's just become so normalized. Most people, everyone I meet is basically another CDT thru hiker doing the same thing as me. Or I meet locals in the towns who have seen plenty of thru hikers and know exactly what we're doing. So it just becomes so normalized. It just seems like, yeah, this is just the normal thing to do. You walk from Mexico to Canada. It doesn't seem like I don't know, it just seems normal. And I think it's also especially crazy when they see my pack, because I think some people just find it almost impossible to actually believe that you could do something like this with a pack this small. I mean, my pack looks like the same size as some of their day packs, and it's only a 26 litre pack. It really is kind of like a day pack. And right now, I'm heading to town, so there's not much food in the pack, which makes it look even smaller. And yeah, I think that just adds to it. They're like, how, do you have a tent? It's like, no, I actually have a tarp. Basically I have a tarp and a quilt. That's pretty much it. There's not much else in there. There's a hoodie. I don't know. Yeah. Alright, so I'm in Lincoln now. It was surprisingly easy to hitchhike into here, and I got to the road at like 4:15 or something, and now it's like almost 5 p.m. But I'm in town. I just got to get my resupply on food and charge up my electronics. And it was actually, I think, about 24 miles to reach the road today. So 24 miles by 4 p.m. Is pretty good time, not bad. So I don't know, the thing is it's already 5 p.m. I need to get my resupply, and realistically it takes more than 2 hours, like 3 or 4 hours to charge my electronics, because I have to charge my power bank all the way up and charge my Garmin InReach, charge my phone and charge my camera. So I might actually just spend the night here. There's a campground which I think is like $10, so I might just have to spend the night and then hitch back to the trail first thing tomorrow morning, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. I'll make a decision pretty soon.